And so that's a really good one. I do really feel like this whole um, movie is geared more towards the teacher, the instructor, which is another reason why I think like 5-year-olds don't really get it, because they're not ever going to be in that role until much later on in life, if they ever want to. And the thing is that when you look at movie characters as far as relatability is concerned, like everybody relates to Poe in the first movie. Poe's the fanboy. He's heard all the stories, knows everything about all these martial arts, but has no idea how to do them. Okay, and then he gets introduced to that world, and then he gets introduced to learning kung fu and martial arts. Everybody can relate to that. Not everybody can relate to, oh, you're having to be taught, or you're having to teach people instead of learning new stuff, and that's very much going to be lost on 5-year-olds. And even if parents pick up on that, they're going to be like, well, I'm going to show my kid Kung Fu Panda, the first one, because why spend all the money to go see this film again when I can go to that one? They like it more because they relate to it more. And I think that's why it wasn't as financially successful. But like I said, for me, for my money, I love this film. Absolutely love this film. There's a couple of moments where they highlight the fact that doing and teaching are completely different, right? And so Master Shifu is telling Poe that he has to teach so that he can go and learn this how to master chi. So he can't do it and teach at the same time. They're two different things. There's only enough time in the day, and they highlight that, which is great. They also highlight the fact that failure is the best teacher. And so, like, Master Shifu sets him up for failure, basically. He was like, hey, teach this class, even though I know you're not going to do very well with it. And I'll be honest, I've done something similar, but not teaching a class. But like, hey, do this technique, let me demonstrate it, you do it. If they do it perfectly fine, I'm like, awesome. I just saved myself a lot of time. 9 times out of 10, they don't, and then I'm like, that's why, you do it this way. Now you know how it doesn't work. Okay, so failure can be a very good thing. What's interesting is that he knew he was going to fail with teaching, but then he didn't do anything to actually teach him how to teach, which is also kind of what happens in the industry, I think. That's a different topic. Yeah, and so, but he said that there's always something more to learn, and even for a master. And so I think that's beautiful, always learning, because like the moment you stop trying to get better is the moment you start getting worse, in my opinion. So I'm always trying to learn new things. What was your take on that?
I really enjoyed how it related to Oogway, and you have essentially 3 people who have moved through the life cycle of an instructor. You have Poe, who is becoming an instructor, Shifu, who is kind of graduating to a higher level instructor. You have Oogway, who is a master, even though he's moved on into the afterlife and he's in the spirit realm and whatnot. There's a scene towards the end of the movie, spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, spoilers. Sorry.
Poe and Oogway are talking, and Poe says something to the effect of, I'm going back to the real world. Like, is that possible? Can I do that? Can I return to the mortal realm? And Oogway says, I don't know. I haven't tried. And they do such a great job of framing Oogway as very much still a student as well, and trying to be a student. He looks forward to learning things. He looks forward to trying new things. And going back a little bit earlier, you're talking about Poe as a fanboy. One thing that is easy to miss in the film is the villain, Kai, is jealous of Oogway on multiple levels. And when he returns to the mortal realm, he says to these 2 peasants he comes across, he says, do you know who I am, essentially? And they don't. And so he rattles off all of these names, these euphemisms for himself, the Widowmaker and other such things.
Such a running gag.
And they don't know him.
Yeah.
And later on, when Shifu and the rest of them find out that Kai is coming, none of them have heard of them. Right. They can't go through and they can't think of it. When he finally meets Poe in person, Poe knows who he is. Poe knows all of his euphemisms, and it comes back to Poe is such a fanboy, but he's a very well-read, very knowledgeable fanboy. He knows this stuff.
I feel like that was an opportunity missed, though, as far as the comedy is concerned, because in that scene, he was pretty much, Poe was the same distance from Kai as he was in the last film,
Mm-hmm.
where he was like spouting off something, and like Mr. Shin was kind of like, "What? What do you say? Can you hear?" But like, I really think I thought for a moment they were gonna bring that back, but apparently they can hear each other over ice. So like maybe that was the big difference. But they were the same distance apart, and so, but they did highlight the fact that you want to learn more, because one of the quotes that they have, and I freaking love it, is that if you only do what you can do, then you'll never be more than you are right now. And so that is very true. If I only ever do what I can, I'm not going to be anything different. I'm going to have to try to be something better. I'm going to try to improve, and it could be something as simple as like, oh, I can punch 50 times in a minute. Well, I want to punch 52 times or whatever like that in a minute. So it can be that simple. Always trying to improve, always trying to get better as you go along.
I really enjoyed the idea, the notion that people will say, I like who I am now. Great. Imagine who you can meet to be yourself tomorrow. And then, the other side, especially people who say, I don't like who I am, I wish I was someone different and everything, is like, how do you think you become a better person? You don't, there's not like a ray of light that'll hit you and suddenly you become somebody. There's not a magic wand that taps you and suddenly you become, you are who you practice to be. And so if you want to be a Kung Fu master, you don't, as cool as it would be to download Kung Fu,
like in Matrix.
Yeah, you have to do it by practicing. If you want to be a polite person, there's the famous Gandhi expression, or it's attributed to Gandhi, which was, be the change you want to see in the world.
I freaking love that.
Yeah, and it's another one. And so
it
one
can
thing
be very hard, though.
Yeah, and one thing that we say when we talk to kids about being sociable, about, wanting to be popular and other such things, is be the person you want to be at this event. Like, why don't you like going to school? Well, nobody's nice at school. Well, are you nice? Nobody's friendly to me. Are you friendly to other people? Be the person you want to be. And that goes back into the, if you only do what you can do, then you'll never be more than you are now.
And it also plays into a mimicking. There's a social aspect of, like, if I want somebody to like me, I'm going to like them first, right? If I want them to do a certain thing, then I do it first, and they follow suit. I mean, there's a big thing about mimicking and body language and stuff like that, that people respond to. If they're going to be aggressive to me, I might be aggressive to them. If they're going to be disrespectful to me, I'm going to be disrespectful to them. It's all a matter of, like, you really have to be what you want other people to treat you. You have to treat you have to treat people like you want to be treated, and it's simple as that. Back to Kung Fu Panda, one of the things that he did eventually was teach these pandas, this panda village, the same way that Sifu taught him. What I found interesting was that wasn't his first go-to move. Right? For some odd reason, like most people, when you think of teaching, if they've never taught before, if they've never learned how to, never been told how to, they're just trying to figure it out, they're 9 times out of 10 going to fall back on what was done to them. And for some reason, he didn't do that. I think the movie played it off like he's a dimwit kind of thing, but like he got it, and then he wanted to make them the best them possible.
I think that was what they were trying to do when he made that punching doll.
Yeah.
I think that they didn't draw that connection. I think that was him trying to do the Shifu training. And it was when Tigress came and talked to him, but that wasn't very well conveyed, if that's the case.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if you go back to the beginning of the film, that first class, he was trying to teach the class like Sifu taught the class.
Right.
And it didn't work. Right? And that's what I'm referring to. I'm like, well, why didn't he just go to what he knew best? Like, if Tigress already knows Kung Fu, let Tigress be Tigress and find out the best that she can do. And that's kind of like the philosophy I try to take here, was like, make people the best that they can be and get all the martial arts and not just the ones that I know. Try to find some other stuff, try to find what's best for people, all right, to make them the best they can. And in that case, I'm always improving myself. I'm having to learn more, all right, with every different person. So I think it's good. But again, not a message that a 5-year-old would pick up.